we're here, guys, that's winning at stressful times every time. And this time, guys, we here 8-0. Florida State is here 8-0, guys. Just went on the road yesterday and demolished Wake Forest. Wake Forest didn't have a chance in that game. Yes, they had a couple of run plays that got them in good position that made them look good. That second half yesterday, I don't count, honestly, as far as Wake Forest putting up points. Florida State checked out of the game. Now, next week, we go on the road to play. Wait. Before next week, Jordan Travis played amazing yesterday, and his Heisman numbers has risen up because of that game yesterday. But Bo Nix has risen up as well. So if you want to take both of those games and measure it out, the Oregon win yesterday with Bo Nix does look better than Jordan Travis win yesterday at Wake Forest. But still a lot of football left to play. Now, let's take a look at this, guys, right? Let me tell you something. I don't think there's no team right now in the ACC, including Louisville, that can beat Florida State. I don't think there's no one in the Big Ten, which is Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, that will beat Florida State, or the Big 12, which is Texas and Oklahoma, the only relevant team right now in the Big 12 that would pose a threat to Florida State. And that's just being honest with you. I just do not see it. Now, the Pac-12 is a different story. The Pac-12, I believe Washington, of course, Oregon will have more say-so in the Florida State matchup potentially in the college football playoffs, and Georgia from the SEC will be the biggest threat to Florida State, hands down, right now, if we were to play Georgia. I mean, Georgia's defense, guys, they're on another level. You just never know, man, what happened to the game's been played. I still like Florida State chances versus Georgia. I like Florida State chances more versus a Pac-12, Washington, or Oregon. I think we will go win those games outright. I think we cover the spread. We've been covering the spread all year long, and I think none of those Pac-12 teams or teams in the Big 10, Big 12 will hold Florida State to under 30 points in the college football playoffs. I'm going to be like, that's just my honest opinion. The way I've been watching everyone play, everyone defense. Yeah, Oregon offense is fast, but I think if Oregon was to go to play against Florida State, I think they would have to make too much adjustments. I think our receivers with Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, Hakeem Williams, Lawrence Tor Philly, listen, I think that's too much. Listen, I think Florida State wide receiver group, I think it's too much. Like, it's too much for me to watch on TV to say who should get the ball, because these guys are open. Jaheim Bell, when he comes in the game, he's open. Hakeem Williams, bro, we've seen what he did versus Syracuse on one catch, 2 catches. The guy took the ball down the field, easy touchdown, bro. We've seen it happen. I think right now, week 8, all of these other schools are starting now to dial in to look at other programs in which they could potentially face in the playoffs. Yeah, it's 5-6 weeks away, but this is the time now where you kind of look past certain teams, which is never a good thing to do in any sport, period. It's look past someone. But depending on your next opponent, you can look past that one and maybe try to out-scout and try to see, okay, what is Washington doing here? What can we get Washington at? Because, guys, let me tell you something. These coaches right now, they are not just watching next opponent. They're watching their next 2-3 opponents. That's how the game goes. And it's not like they're looking past a certain team. Like Florida State, we're not looking past Pitt, because if Florida State, if it's a rainy day with pigs falling from the sky, Florida State could lose. I mean, that's the same case with any other team. Right now, it's towards the end of the season where if the teams are checked out, they are 100% checked out. That means those teams are not looking to play tough. Maybe their players have hinted into taking the transfer portals and to getting out those programs. So, guys, let me tell you something, right? Florida State, what do we have to do to get our run defense to be better? Adam Fuller has to figure that out. I think he's starting to figure it out. I think, Florida State, we play a lot of 5-man box on defense. We will play the second string front 4, and we'll play the first string front 4. I mean, you will see it like you will see it like during the game, like Jared Versus not out there. You will see like none of our defensive players are not out there. The main starters, they're not in the game. Like, it's the whole entire second string out there in the game. And then sometimes they can get 3 and outs, and sometimes they just can't. And some of those big bust runs comes from our second string. But it's still preserving our first string defensive line with Kellen DeLoach, Brown out there, Dent. Guys, listen, those guys are getting some rest. Like, during the games, listen, one thing I give Adam Fuller is that he's going to get our guys some rest. Those guys are going to get rest, 100%. But we cannot act like all of these big runs and these not really big pass plays, because we don't really give up big bombs down the field. That's one thing Florida State does do good on defense. We don't give up the big shock play. In the run game we do, but not in the passing game. So that wouldn't be well for a Pac-12 team or a Big 10, Big 12 team as of right now during week 8 going into week 9. Yeah, but back to the Wake Forest game, guys. Jordan Travis played good. Trey Benson played amazing. I still like Lawrence Toa Philly. I like him to be our starting running back. over Benson, but I prefer both of those guys like apples and oranges. Like you can use Benson for a whole nother scheme, and you can use Lawrence toward Philly as a whole nother scheme. I do think Lawrence toward Philly is a better pass catching back, but at the same time, I mean Trey Benson does well as well with pass catching. I mean he does just as good as no. He doesn't do just as good as Lawrence toward Philly. But when Trey Benson gets going, it's hard to bring him down. But Lawrence toward Phillies, he is our quick back. He can get out there, create space and open space, and he's just gone. Yeah, man. The guys are coming to play now, guys. This is where the season is going. A lot of these guys are looking past teams. A lot of the coaches have to keep these guys reeled in into, hey, our next game is Pitt, not Miami. Don't look to Miami. Because let me tell you something, guys. As someone that played college football, and then when your rival school is next, and you play a school that won 2 games or like 3 games, or they're just bad, or they're supposed to have 1 win, you look past that school 100%. I mean, you just want to go in the game and hope your skill and what you schemed just punishes them early, and you guys can just cruise through the game, maybe run the ball, get more running touchdowns than passing touchdowns, you know, keeping the clock moving during the game. That's why, listen, Florida State's game plan this week should be keeping the clock moving. Let's get out this game quick as possible, put our second strings in, because we have yet to do that. I think we did it twice this season. I think Florida State did it twice, meaning, Syracuse, who we play after Syracuse? Virginia Tech. That's when our second strings were in for the most of that game, especially Syracuse. Second string was in for most of that game versus Syracuse. And yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys agree with me that right now the Big 10, the Big 12, and the Pac-12 cannot beat Florida State right now in the college football playoffs. The only team right now that poses a threat to Florida State would be the Georgia Bulldogs. And that's, I mean, if Brock Bowers is not there, if Brock Bowers doesn't play in the college football playoffs or these next few weeks, we might not even have Georgia there. It might be Florida State, Texas, maybe Bama. If Bama wins out, Bama might sneak in there. But if you got an undefeated Pac-12 team, ACC team, maybe Louisville loses 2 games, maybe Georgia loses 1 game or 2 games. I said Louisville. I said Louisville. Why did I say Louisville? Texas, Oklahoma already lost one ill-advised game, so that right there is already whoever Texas versus Oklahoma. If Oklahoma wins out, that's going to be a college football playoff elimination game right there versus Texas and Oklahoma if it goes that way. But Kansas got a lot of things to say though, man. Kansas, because I believe Kansas just put themselves back in the driver's seat to play for a Big 12 championship game. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. But let's just get back to Florida State. I believe next week Louisville plays Virginia Tech, and the winner of that game, literally, if they win the next week, I believe, will play Florida State for the ACC championship. All Florida State has to do is go on the road and beat a very bad Pitt team. If that can happen, guys, we're back on to the races. And I do have Florida State winning outright ACC championship undefeated. Play Miami in 2 weeks. Then we play Florida another 2 weeks ago. And I'm out to be. Make sure you like the video, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.